Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. I got a bunch of things in the news today. We have a city expecting record-breaking cruise ships. We have a warning for a very popular destination port saying, hey, things might not be that great if you're coming into our country this year. We also have a record-breaking day at an airport terminal. Find out what happened with that. And then unfortunately, we have a very tragic story of some hardworking tugboatmen, well known in the community, unfortunately had a shipping accident. And yeah, it did not go well. First, a little bit of good news. We have the Port of Vancouver, a hugely popular destination for Alaska cruising and, basically a vacation destination on its own. Well, this year they are expecting 331 cruise ships, which has the tourism industry in Vancouver really excited because it makes a milestone where they're back over pre-pandemic numbers, which is really great because if you remember at one point, cruises to Alaska started from the United States and Canada still had their borders closed. And we lost the entire season of tourism again in Vancouver and Victoria, BC. Not to mention the Maritimes here out east. Well, that really hit the tourism industry hard in Vancouver. A lot of businesses closed and closed for good, never to reopen again. Fortunately, this is a good sign. There are other businesses trying to restart with the boom in the cruising industry, and those that survived that shutdown are really looking forward to getting all their employees back and running their businesses like they should be as normal. And 331 cruise ships coming into town is certainly going to help the hotel industry, the restaurants, the bars, and all the different shops around the cruise port. It's going to, not only that, the transit system, just running back from the airport. If you figure it's, say, $5 a person, and they're having 331 cruise ships at 2,500 people, average, well, yeah, that's a lot of money going into the city coffers for the transit system as well. That runs anyway, whether the cruise ships are coming or not. So good news there for Vancouver. Some not so good news is coming out of Spain and Portugal, where Portugal and Spain have announced, if you're coming this summer, you might be some disappointed if you're hoping to spend some time on our beaches because a lot of the popular beaches may be closed because they are doing environmental work and repair on those beaches, and they will be closed mostly during the weekdays. Maybe on the weekends they'll reopen, but a lot of them will be closed to tourists, where they will no longer allow, say, a tour company to bring people to the beach or a cruise ship company to run an excursion to the beach as well. Not only that, Barcelona has been very clear that this year they are planning to limit the amount of cruise passengers coming into probably the most popular port in the Mediterranean right now is Barcelona. It's a huge hub where cruise ships not only visit, but most people fly in and out of when they start a lot of their vacation time. If you take a look at a lot of the transatlantics, when the ships are repositioning, they're heading to Barcelona. So yeah, not great news if you're planning on visiting Spain and Portugal this year, because hey, that beach vacation you're going on, it just might not exist. Some pretty good news that just happened on March 11th. MCO, which is the Orlando International Airport, broke their all-time record for departures. Not arrivals, but departures that day, totaling 95,000 passengers all left that airport that day. That's a lot of people leaving in one day as spring breakers have been starting to flock to Orlando area for Disney, Universal Studios, SeaWorld, and all the attractions that are there. Not to mention Orlando is very close. It's only an hour roughly away from beaches on either side of the coast. So it becomes a very popular destination, especially for families with kids. Now this is expected to continue. They're expected to have 7.5 million to be exact, people visit Orlando and leave Orlando during the spring break period. Now, to me, spring break period was a week, maybe 2 weeks, right? Well, apparently it's 45 days because different parts of the countries and different countries, like Canada, has a different spring break period than you do in the United States, and also different states do as well. So it makes it, a longer period of time, and I guess that's good, because if everybody had the exact same 2 weeks off, can you imagine how many people would be visiting Orlando that week? Yeah, triple it for sure. Next, I have a little bit of a sad story. That's why I'm leaving it till the end. If you have young children who are watching the video, you have a chance to turn it off now. But before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you want to keep up to date with all things cruising, from the new ships that are coming out, to tips and tricks that are coming, to breaking the myths of cruising, to just talking about your favorite form of travel, like mine, cruise ships. I hope you'll join us. Hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything. Really does help the channel out, and I really would appreciate it. Back in February, there was an accident, but at first, a lot of details hadn't come out. More and more details have now come out, as we had a tugboat accident, much like the one that we covered just last year, where the pilot was, unfortunately, the boat overturned, it was dragged under, and he was lost at sea. Same thing happened this time, except 2 people unfortunately went over. The tugboat called the Biter, or the Bitter, depending on how you pronounce it, I think it's called the Biter, was assisting the Hebridean Princess into harbor when she overturned. And unfortunately, the 2 men were dragged down and underneath with them. George Taft and Ian Catterson are the gentleman's name. They are long time workers in the tugboat industry and well respected in the community. One of the gentlemen was still looking after his elderly mother until she passed away. He was, they're both very known as very nice gentlemen, and unfortunately, they are leaving behind family members, and there has been a GoFundMe or a raised fund in the area to try and help the families through some of the financial difficulties that are going on right now. The Biter was raised recently, and they are launching a full investigation into it now that they have the tugboat above water, and they can inspect it and find out exactly what happened. Again, it's a tragic story. We thoughts and prayers go out to the family. Nobody should have to go to work and not come home to their families that night. And it just goes to show, people see tugboats every day. I've probably seen thousands of tugboats in my day, and I think nothing of it. Oh, here they come. They're just pulling us around or just escorting us, and it just goes to show that it can still be a very dangerous job where anything can happen. And this wasn't even a huge cruise ship. This was a smaller cruise ship. And so when they're near the big boats and you can imagine, if something goes wrong and that front of the ship goes under, it goes under like this, very, very quick. And it's almost impossible to react in time. So a little bit of consideration and thoughts go out to all the marine operators out there who assist the big ships, the cruise ships and the tankers and everything getting in and out of port. Their job looks like it's easy, but it's not, and can be very, very dangerous as well. Well, I hope you appreciate this cruise update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world, and more cruise news? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.